6 federations, 1 tournament, 1 office in Zurich that doesn't write back. Iran complained because they were the only team in World Cup history to play inside a country's borders and get expelled from them the same night. Brazil complained because a machine erased a goal from the best attacker on the planet. Ecuador complained because fans fired fireworks at their hotel windows at 2 in the morning. Belgium complained because a red card lost its meaning after a single phone call. Egypt complained because VAR canceled a goal 20 full seconds after the fact for a foul nobody in the stadium had seen. Croatia complained because a sensor inside a ball detected a touch from a strand of hair and eliminated an entire nation. 6 federations, 6 languages, 6 continents. They don't know each other. They didn't coordinate. Every single one of them independently wrote to the same address in Zurich. FIFA hasn't answered 5 of them. The 6th one they answered in a way that makes silence seem kinder. This is not a video about disallowed goals or red cards. This is a video about the question nobody dares ask out loud: who actually makes the rules and who gets to be exempt from them. The complete timeline. The document nobody read. Twice. On the 12th of May 2026, before a single whistle had been blown at this World Cup, FIFA sent a routine document to all 48 participating federations. It was called Circular Number 16. Nobody covered it as news. Not one journalist published it. It went into office drawers across the world and sat there. Inside it, between match schedules and registration rules, was one sentence that leaves no room for interpretation. A direct red card carries an automatic 1-match suspension. No choice, no appeal, no discussion, because there is nothing to discuss. That circular is now the most cited document in this entire World Cup, and the federation citing it loudest is the one that lost the match anyway. But Belgium wasn't first. Letter 1. Iran. When travel becomes punishment. Iran arrived at this World Cup already fighting a battle no other team has to fight. Several members of their staff were refused visas to enter the United States. The team couldn't base itself in Arizona like a normal squad. It settled in Tijuana, on the Mexican side of the border, and commuted back and forth for every match. The terms were these: Iran could enter American soil 1 day before a match, and had to leave by the evening of match day. Then back to Mexico to prepare for the next one, Los Angeles, then Los Angeles again, then Seattle, land, play, leave. After drawing 2-2 with New Zealand, head coach Amir Galani stood in front of the cameras and said, "I think our team is the most oppressed in this World Cup." Gianni Infantino walked into Iran's dressing room after that game. Photos were taken, hands were shaken. Then the Football Federation of Iran filed a formal complaint. Their language was careful and worth reading closely, because every federation that came after them used almost exactly the same words. These restrictions are inconsistent with the principle of providing equal conditions for all participating teams. Equal conditions. Remember that phrase. You're going to hear it 5 more times before this video ends. Iran asked for one thing: 2 days in the host city before a match, and 1 night after. That was the entire request. The Department of Homeland Security responded that Iran had agreed to these terms before the tournament began. Iran did agree, but agreeing to a condition and having a genuine choice are not the same thing. And everyone involved knows that. Letter 1 was filed. Nobody outside Iran paid attention. A visa story, they said, and visa stories are boring. Letter 2. Brazil. When the machine erases a goal. In Miami, in the final round of group matches, Vinicius Jr. stole the ball from Scottish left-back Jack Hendry, rounded goalkeeper Angus Gunn, and finished. Mexican referee Cesar Ramos pointed to the center circle. Goal. Then VAR called him to the monitor. And after the review, the goal was canceled. Vinicius had allegedly committed a foul in the build-up. Brazil won 3-0 anyway. They topped their group. Nothing changed in the result. They filed anyway. And that is precisely what makes it a warning shot, not just a complaint. CBF President Samir Saud wrote directly to Gianni Infantino. The complaint wasn't about whether the decision was correct. It was about the standard of intervention. VAR is supposed to step in only for a clear and obvious error. This was neither. To prove the double standard, Brazil named a goal. Lionel Messi's opener against Austria. They asked in writing, why did a similar challenge in the build-up to Messi's goal go unchecked, while VAR intervened against Vinicius? And they added an observation that a lawyer would catch and a fan would miss. The Scottish players didn't appeal. Letter 3. Ecuador. The song Nobody Asked for Ecuador had a bad day before the noise even started. Their flight from their base in Columbus, Ohio, took 9 hours. They arrived at their hotel 3 hours and 20 minutes behind schedule. They landed at Felipe Angeles International Airport, 65 kilometers from the hotel, and crawled through Mexico City's gridlocked traffic in heavy night rain. Coach Sebastian Beccacechi described it to reporters in the flat voice of a man who has run out of things to be surprised by. A 9-hour journey, 3 hours and 20 minutes late. The hotel, the Westin Santa Fe. At midnight, what Mexican football culture calls La Serenada began. The Associated Press described it as deeply entrenched and highly polarizing, which is a polite way of saying half the country sees it as tradition, and the other half knows exactly what it's for. Loudspeakers, car horns held down for minutes at a time, motorcycles revved beneath the windows, chanting, fireworks launched at the building, some reportedly fired from the hotel's own rooftop. Cameras caught Ecuador's players behind their curtains, looking down. Riot police arrived around midnight. The noise ran into the early hours of the morning. The following evening, Ecuador walked out against the host nation and lost 2-0. Julian Quiñones scored. Raúl Jiménez scored. Ecuador went home. But before kickoff, the Ecuadorian Football Federation had already filed. Their words were nearly identical to Iran's. This behavior stands in stark contrast to the principles of fair play, equity, and unity that a World Cup should embody. Fair play, equity, equal conditions, 3 federations, 3 continents, 1 set of words. Letter 4. Belgium. When the president overruled a red card on the 1st of July in Santa Clara, Folarin Balogun, the United States top scorer, put his foot down on the ankle of Bosnian defender Tarik Muharemovic in the 64th minute. Brazilian referee Rafael Klaus reviewed the monitor. Red card. The United States won 2-0 anyway. The card itself is debatable. Balogun said a yellow would have been fair, and many neutral observers agreed, but the ban was not debatable. Under Circular Number 16, there was nothing to weigh, nothing to argue, and nobody to ask. Red card, 1-match ban, automatic, no exceptions. Every other player sent off at this World Cup served theirs. Every single one. Then the President of the United States picked up a phone and called the President of FIFA. Donald Trump confirmed this himself from the Oval Office on camera. He said he didn't think it was a foul. He said he didn't know what a red card was. He said he asked for a review. On the 5th of July, 1 day before the United States were due to face Belgium in the round of 16, FIFA announced that Belgium's automatic ban would not be enforced and was suspended for a one-year probationary period. It cited Article 27 of its own disciplinary code, which allows a judicial panel to suspend the execution of a sanction. FIFA had never applied a red card this way at a World Cup, not in more than 60 years. The Royal Belgian Football Association said it was stunned. It wrote to FIFA asking for one thing: an explanation, the written reasoning, the paperwork. What happened next is the single strangest fact in this entire story, and almost nobody reported it properly. FIFA wrote back and told Belgium that its request for an explanation had been classified as a formal appeal. A judge had already been appointed. Belgium had until 5 in the morning Pacific time to complete the appeal process. Belgium had never asked to appeal. They only asked why. Hours before kickoff, FIFA's appeals committee rejected the appeal. The stated reason: the Belgian Federation was not a party to the proceedings and therefore had no standing to appeal. Read that again slowly. FIFA converted a question into a legal appeal, then rejected that appeal on the grounds that the people who asked the question had no right to appeal in the first place. Belgium's own statement was blunt. FIFA created an appeal and ensured it would be thrown out. Belgium cited 3 legal texts. Article 66.4 of the Disciplinary Code. A sending off carries an automatic ban. Article 10.5 of the World Cup competition rules says the same thing. Circular number 16 from May 12th says it a third time. 3 written rules. 1 phone call. The phone call won. Belgium played. Belgium beat the United States 4-1 in Seattle in front of the largest television audience a football match has ever drawn in American history. The Belgian Federation's official account posted the scoreline with 2 words: overturn this. If this is the coverage you want, the full picture, not the press release, subscribe and stay with the channel. We are following every letter, every ruling, and every decision until the final whistle of the final.